You guys put Riley on waivers. Are you going to try to call up another defenseman so you have 7 here?
Yeah, that is the plan. Obviously, we're banged up on the back end, and that's the need, the pressing need right now. So yes.
Is there an update on the Bushman? How long do you expect?
Yeah, I mentioned the other day that we need to give him some time. I think I said a little bit of time to allow some aggravation in the area that he's dealing with to calm. So we're going to continue that in hopes that it calms. And again, a little bit of time is what I said, which was last game, and it'll be tonight as well. And then over the next couple days, we'll just keep monitoring it to see how he responds without the pressure of the physical pressure on the point.
So you haven't really counted him out for this week?
Have not counted him out for this week. No. Definitely tonight because we want to get him past a threshold that we had hoped he could do that within playing, and it's just aggravating.
How does he respond to being set out? Because he's so gung-ho that he probably wants to.
Yeah, he hates it. He battled through. I mean, lots of these injuries when they're day to day, it's the threshold of the player handling it, and the medical side knows there's an issue going on, and can you play with that and do what you need to do to perform? And he worked hard to try to play and just couldn't, and it re-aggravated things as he's pushing on it the way he was. So he is not happy he's not playing, and he has a very high pain tolerance, which enabled him to play through some. But again, we want to get that down as much as we can so he can get back to full mobility, full functioning.
Don, what was your thought on Bryson meshing with Darlene?
It's nice to have Bryce because he can shift into that. Obviously in our depth, Bryce would fall down a little bit with Sammy or Yoki in the lineup, but Bryce is, and probably because he's just a young guy as far as games played in his career, he's still taking in lots of information. We all see he gives up size and strength, but so do lots of defensemen in the league to certain players in the league, and he's acclimated to the NHL fast, and he's still acclimating because he's so talented and skilled that he just keeps taking each situation, learning from it, and getting better. He's able to apply more. And he meshes in with Darlene well. They obviously have come to be very close friends, and I like certain areas that he complements Dalls, specifically offensively and in the offensive zone. I thought they move well together in that area.
You mentioned Yogi. Kevin said last week that there's a possibility maybe to have it this week and maybe get back on the ice. Is there any update?
I don't have an update, Joe. I apologize for that. I didn't get anything today, but I know every day I see him, he's got the smile is getting bigger and bigger. So he's close. I mean, whether that means the next 3-4 days or the next 6-7 days, I think it's going to be one of the two.
Are you seeing, especially Saturday, did you see Jack Quinn playing with more confidence in his game now that he's been back in the lineup for a few weeks?
Yeah, he looks way more confident than he did his first couple games. And we just talked about even watching him out in the morning skate. He just, he's up on his skates. He's more attentive, and as a result, you see the skill and the talent coming out. So yes, he does. He is making, he's made immense strides in the last couple weeks.
Do you think he got a little bit of a mental boost by getting put in that power play?
Yeah, I think that always helps a guy, and it's. I think it was important for him to know, he did sit out a couple games, and everybody thinks, oh, he's a healthy scratch, there's something wrong. No, that actually helps guys where he's at in the point of his career to just be able to step back because, you get these young players, and this is a very unforgiving league, and you could go through an 82 game schedule and you just get beat up. And we don't want want that to happen, especially to our younger players. So he didn't look like himself the first couple games. I'm very confident, and I know what this kid can do and how talented he is. And so we thought, hey, let's just give him a break, and knowing he'll come back, with a little more hindsight and a different viewpoint and be better, and he has. So for me, I thought it was important. He's capable to be on a power play. The other guys are excited that he's on there. Our power play needed a little tweak, and it's a good opportunity for us as coaches to show him just how much we believe in him.
It seemed like once Kyle got on Tage and Jeff's line, they seemed to gain some confidence too, with him being there and playing so much time in the offensive zone. Did you feel he did help those guys maybe get a little bit of confidence back into their game?
Yeah, I have no doubt he did. And I don't think I could have done that, or we could have done that 3 games earlier. I don't think Kyle was there. I mean, you guys know it. You've seen the league forever and close to forever, right? And
Don't look at me.
but I'm looking at you and Paul. But Rob will tell you, it takes. You don't start a season and be in mid-season form. And for Okie and for Skinner and for Tomer, nobody's in mid-season form 10 games into a year. And I think for Okie, he has looked way better. We talk about Jack Quinn the last 2 games. And so I don't think 3 games ago I could have shifted Okie there and had that impact. I think Okie's getting to his game finally. And he was outstanding, and he was a shot of adrenaline. And then at that point, as a coach, you're down a couple goals in the third period. You're going to shorten your bench just so to typically 3 lines, just so you get the guys going every third shift instead of every fourth shift, where there's a little bit of lag between TV timeouts and whistles, and so we needed to go down to 3 lines and get some, get a surge and get guys back out there quick so they get in a rhythm and find a rhythm. And I thought Okie helped push us to that. On that line specifically, as other guys did on the other lines.
3 games against the Red Wings go to overtime last year. Is that coincidence, or is there something about the matchup that lends itself to those games?
I have no idea. Great question, and I had no idea on that. But if I think of last year, it was 2 teams that were fought hard in those games. Were well prepared for each other. If I'm recounting on it, and wanted the 2 points. So I would expect the same today, and whether it goes overtime or not, we'll see. But
do they play different? Because they don't have Bertuzzi, he's injured, and they had all those signings that they made. Unless they have a lot of new guys, do they play different?
Yeah, I mean, they have different personnel, obviously, so there's going to be different tweaks there. But you'd have to ask them on that, Paul. I would say for us, our biggest concern, especially still early in the year, is playing more efficient our game. I think if you're going into these games early season, there is absolutely a pre-scout. You're looking at certain things, but you are de-emphasizing that, because the more you emphasize that, the less you can focus on your game, and nobody's to their game in this league right now. It just, you're under 10 games in. We're all operating at a pretty inefficient level compared to where we're going to need to get to. And so for us, our focus, our bulk of focus has to be there. So yes, we'll go over Detroit, but as little as we can, just the necessity.
How would you evaluate Turka's stuff?
Solid. Yeah, he's just a little bit like Victor Olofsson. He's always there and always a threat waiting to happen, and an opportunist. And JJ's very similar. He's you don't see highs, you don't see lows. He's just ready to go. And I should restate that, because I think you will see highs with him. You just don't see lows. He's just very even keel. There's a lot of little details and subtleties to his game. He can keep possession, he can extend possession, he can get the pucks, steal pucks, that through the course of a game really add up. They're not adding up to the score sheet as much as they're going to be, and I think at some point fairly soon with his talent.
Seems like that's pretty rare, though, to be even keeled.
Extremely rare. It's unique. It's a pretty special attribute for any guy, but for a young guy, yes, he is. I akin him to, like I said, Victor. They're just always ready to go, and very high skill level that I don't think we've seen yet here in the NHL. Obviously, we saw it in the American League, it's going to turn, and we're going to see a lot more skill as the games progress here, and even as the guys around him get more comfortable. So this isn't all JJ. This is your team getting in more of a rhythmic, systematic movement as a group, which is very clunky right now, both ways. So I think when that hits and there's a rhythm, more of a rhythm to our game, you're going to see some really special things from him.